The best of money matters. Wealth Tracker.
Welcome to the Wealth Tracker, where we dive into the uncharted territories of niche investment strategies that promise to redefine wealth. Hello, I'm Hongbin, Jeong. Now, with Singapore's life expectancy at 83 years and rising cost of living, ensuring a financially secure retirement is becoming increasingly complex. Now, in fact, many Singaporeans prioritize family needs over personal savings, and traditional retirement planning may not be enough to support them through decades of retirement. Therefore, Manulife Investment Management is launching a new customizable investment solution to address Singaporeans' evolving needs. So how is this solution designed to help Singaporeans build, grow, and sustain their wealth through retirement? And how does this differ from traditional approaches? Well, to find out more, joining me now in the studio is Marc Franklin, who is a Senior Portfolio Manager and Deputy Head of Multi-Asset Solutions of Asia at Manulife Investment Management. Marc, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right, just to have some context here, Marc, what are the key challenges and opportunities of an aging population here in Asia, particularly in retirement planning?
It's a great question. You know, the life expectancy, as you point out, of Singaporeans is really long, and it's getting longer as well. And that's a great privilege. But with great privileges come great responsibility. And so it's really important that people plan well ahead, have clear retirement goals in mind to make sure that they minimize what we call shortfall risk, which is basically that they don't have enough money at the point of retirement. So we have to design investment solutions that are not only adaptive to individual and personal circumstances, but also make sure that as that asset allocation, those investment decisions evolve over time, they're really right-sized at that person's particular point in life.
I see. Well, then how do inflation, interest rates, and family obligations, impact retirement planning in Asia? And what strategies can individuals use to navigate these challenges?
Absolutely. We have an issue which is called the sandwich generation right now. So people in their working years are not only financially responsible for their children, but also financially responsible for their parents as well. And as a result, that places a great burden on their ability to be able to financially plan for their own retirement. So you mentioned inflation as well. That is impacting directly the cost of living. And in a retirement context, it impacts how much money people need to have built up, how much wealth they need to have accumulated at the point of retirement. So one of the things that we try and do is really be goal-based about this, having something which is acutely aware about what the financial goal is at the point of retirement or for other specific goals and plan accordingly. So some of the things that we really focus on are, for example, the contribution rate, how much people are contributing on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis. But in addition to that, well, the accumulation time period. So, the best time to start saving is yesterday, in effect. It's never too early. It's never too late. Contributing something out of your monthly paycheck is critical. But then at the same time as well, making sure that your risk tolerance is not only specific to your personal circumstances, but age appropriate as well. So we typically talk about something called a glide path, which is really the backbone of a well-planned retirement solution. And a glide path is all about making sure that evolution of the investment mix progressively de-risks as you get older, closer towards retirement. So if you're young, the emphasis should really be on about maximizing wealth accumulation. As you get a bit older, it's about managing those drawdowns. And then as you get into retirement, it's having a viable income replacement.
I see. So what do you see as the most critical component of an effective retirement plan?
So we talk about AAA benefits for the Empower solutions. We talk about it being adaptable, so adaptable to individual and personal circumstances. So it's highly personalized, not just one size fits all. It's also adaptable to a financial or a personal goal. And by the way, that goal can change. Also, someone's retirement age, their expected retirement age, can change over time. Secondly, we talk about actively managed. So, one of the things which also drives whether you have enough money in retirement is your investment choices. So we really believe in having a very broad universe of investment options for the portfolios that we'll be managing and making sure that they're actively managed to navigate the market cycle, which has its ups and downs, of course. And then finally, as well as awareness. So awareness over risks and making sure that these funds are well risk managed and appropriate to the underlying end investors, but also awareness around income requirements. So not just in your retirement, is how much income do you need to live comfortably off of, but also also in your younger years, I talk about the sandwich generation. So people are needing a certain degree of income now, even before retirement, to support their dependents, both children and parents as well.
I see. So I hear Manulife Investment Management is launching a new customizable investment solution to address Singaporeans' evolving needs. So how does this solution work, and how does it compare to, traditional retirement planning approaches?
So at its heart, it's trying to strike the best balance and the best mix of advice and digitalization. So many solutions in the market already are pure advice driven without really a framework. And there are some recent additions to the market which are purely digital, where there's a lack of personalization and different levers that you can pull. So we really believe in partnership with Maybank to develop an advisor-led model, but equally with digital support. So particularly for younger generations, but also digitally adept people, being able to look on screen at how their retirement investments are tracking. So there's a difference in terms of the best of both worlds of advice and digital. In addition to that as well, we've designed a glide path which is really specific and unique to Singaporeans. It plugs in information about demographics in Singapore, the underlying pensions landscape, and it's not just a glide path that's been imported from elsewhere. And then finally, as I mentioned as well, a really broad universe of investment opportunity. So investment choice is critical for effective retirement planning and investment accumulation. So we were really investing across 250 different asset classes. We're blending traditional asset classes with alternative asset classes as well. And that makes sure that these investment portfolios can mitigate and manage through these market cycles really well by sheer diversification and appropriate portfolio construction.
I see. But why should individuals, though, move away from traditional retirement planning approaches? I mean, does it not work in the current financial environment?
So one of the challenges of legacy models and approaches here is there's a one-size-fits-all approach. So there's something called target date funds, and it assumes pretty much that people of a similar age all retire at the same time. And there's also a sense that you decide on day one what your investments are going to be, and it's kind of on autopilot. But one of the things that you need to really take on board now is this adaptability point. So as a result of market cycles, different macroeconomic developments, your goal shifting personally as well, you need to be able to adapt and to personalise, sometimes away from that glide path, but sometimes stick back onto the glide path for that degree of comfort. So it's the adaptability to circumstances, different macroeconomic developments, new asset classes emerging, how can we bring them into the portfolio mix too?
I see. So at what age, Mark, do you think people should begin retirement planning? Is there an age where it's considered too early or too late?
Honestly, the best time is yesterday. In the sense that it's something that you should get onto straight away. And even if you're just starting off your career, your professional period of life, and even if your income is modest, just starting to contribute to a savings and investment plan in a small amount is absolutely critical. It's those years of wealth accumulation that really make a great deal of difference. And obviously, as you progress through your career and hopefully your income levels rise, then your contributions can also increase as well. And critically, it's really about a partnership between effective savings and active investment management.
I see. Then what factors should individuals consider when tailoring their investment strategies for different life stages? So
life stages is a pertinent aspect here. So as we talked about earlier, younger customers, all other things being equal, should be risk-seeking, so taking more risk to accumulate wealth in those younger years, and as they get older, starting to reduce the risk levels and make sure that they're managing their drawdowns and then pivoting more towards an income solution. But then the second point as well is that not all customers in the same age bracket are the same. They have different circumstances, different risk tolerances, different financial obligations and duties. And what the solutions are really trying to do is to adapt to personal circumstances and not bucket everyone in the same grouping, even if they're the same age cohort.
I see. So what are the most common mistakes you see people make when planning for retirement, and how can they avoid them?
So one thing that we do notice is that people adopt an overly conservative investment allocation too early on. So effectively not taking enough risk early on. And as a result, by the time they get close to retirement, they realise that their wealth accumulation is well short of their goal, and they start to take more risk at the wrong time. So it's actually saying, I need to take risk earlier on because that then gives me the ability to de-risk later on. The second mistake that people make is they just don't plan soon enough, and they don't plan with a framework. So while some people do build an investment portfolio and start investing from a relatively young age, it's without the foundational approach towards the glide path, recognising that we're investing towards a particular goal. And that could be a life event, for example, being able to afford a property, funding your wedding, but it could also be a retirement goal as well. So it's not just starting quickly and soon enough, but it's also starting with a specific goal in mind. And as I said earlier, that goal can shift and it's absolutely fine. But then and adapting to that as you go along.
I see. And finally, looking ahead here, Mark, how might Singapore's retirement landscape evolve over the next 10 to 20 years, and what should Singaporeans be prepared for?
Well, all being well, the Singaporean life expectancy will continue to go up, and that's a great reflection of such a vibrant society and an effective economy as well. But with that also comes the need to be planning accordingly. So making sure that you don't just de-risk fully by the time you get to retirement, but recognising that people are going to be living longer during retirement years, which means that we also need to manage that glide path through retirement, which means you still need to run a certain amount of risk at the point of retirement and then gradually continue to de-risk further. But in addition to that as well, the traditional sources of investment and income, whether it's fixed income, whether it's CPF, or whether it's just real estate, we're going to need to diversify away from that. So some of the expected returns from these types of asset classes are more moderate, more modest going forward than they have been historically. And that's why a more diversified, explicit retirement investment portfolio is critical going forward.
I see. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for your time and your insights today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was Marc Franklin, who's a Senior Portfolio Manager and Deputy Head of Multi-Asset Solutions Asia at Manulife Investment Management. This has been the Wealth Tracker with me, Hongbin Jeong.
Before acting on the information on Money FM, please consider if it's suitable for your own investment objectives, financial situation, and risk tolerance. To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.